Deke walked up to her door and gently pressed his paw against the touch pad. He knew it was early, but the situation was odd and she'd told him to inform her of anything. To be honest, he was delighted she was taking her role as security officer so seriously. It was comforting to have a human protecting them, a well-trained human at that, if the few details he'd gleaned of her career before their meeting were to be believed. As the door slid open with a mechanical swoosh, he found the barrel of what the Terrans called a pistol aimed directly at his head. Fear shot through his system. His paws were up immediately. "Just me. Just me," he almost shouted, consciously making zero overt movements. He thought to bolt, to make a run for it, but dashing might only provoke its lethal instincts. Their eyes met and he couldn't help another pang of fear rushing through him. Its eyes were wide, wild even, pupils completely dilated. By all the holy stars. The human, laying in her bed, suddenly came to a realization of the world around her. Quickly, the gun moved in her hand, left side facing out towards her captain with the barrel pointed upwards and her finger off of the trigger. The adrenaline in her body calmed. "Sorry, sir." Bad dreams. I'm so sorry." The issue he'd come to her room with was gone, his curiosity peeked through as his fear calmed. "Dream?" he asked, doing his best to pronounce the word of a language not quite well fitting for his mouth. The word must have been Terran as it didn't come through the translator changed in any way. Without a proper translation, the program will simply leave the word as is in the translated sentence. "Yeah, you know when you sleep?" The gun was being placed back under her pillow. "Plenty of species sleep, but dream isn't a word I'm familiar with." "What does it mean?" I guess it's, well, strictly speaking, when a human sleeps our subconscious organizes and reviews all the extraneous data we pulled in from the day. It organizes and stores everything, or gets rid of it. But in that process, for a lot of humans, we see things, experience things. For me, it's like I'm living in a movie, one I've seen before. Her voice trailed off. Deke was still working on figuring out which facial movements meant what, but he was pretty sure this one was fear, or maybe sadness. "Are you okay?" Oh, yeah. Dreams can just be a bit vivid sometimes. And, well, they're not always good. Some dreams can turn into what we call nightmares." "What was your dream about?" he asked, still trying to read her face. She couldn't see him anymore. She saw her dream, a memory in all honesty. She could see their faces, clear as that day. The popping, shaking, still rang in her ears. It was, well, it wasn't fun. "Anyway, what did you need?" Her face quickly became a blank, professional look. The one she wore most often. He was beginning to think it was less an expression and more a mask, but he didn't push. He'd been told humans react poorly to emotional support when it's not requested. It made little sense to him, but until he had a better grasp on their species, he wasn't about to test things. "Right, yes," there was an odd signal coming from a nearby debris field. "Nothing we'd normally note, but you asked." "To be notified of anything, yes, thank you." "I'll join you on the bridge shortly, sir. Just need a minute to collect myself." "Of course, I'll see you there." He gave her a nod and as good an approximation of a smile as his species could muster. It was genuine though, and he moved out into the hallway and back to the bridge. Dreaming, a collection of extant or to-be organized data. Does that mean those nightmares are comprised of data the humans find scary? If so, then where was it pulling that data from? There's no way she found any of us scary. What could even scare a human? Suddenly something she'd said dawned on him, one I've seen before. Memories? His mind drifted to his first memories of her, less a meeting and more an incredible showing of that fabled human strength. Gareth and he had just made port at a way station, still seeking an able being to take over as their first security officer. Look, the more cargo we start hauling, the more likely we are to get attention, not just space-side but when we dock or land too. We need someone who can think tactically on their feet and knows how to handle those kind of situations. I know, Captain, and I